conversation with me today is Lily Thompson, our esteemed member, who brings with the Rotary benevolence to the table also her passion for the ghats of the city of Kolkata. Welcome, Lily.
Thank you very much.
And tell me, what stirred you to take up this uh, almost a crusade against the cleanliness and the upkeep of the ghats along the river Ganga in Kolkata?
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me for this chit chat.
Welcome.
I wish I could say that, from childhood it was my dream, but it was actually very organic. I was born and raised in Kolkata, and then after I got married, I went off to the UK, and then you have a job, you have kids, and over there you do everything yourself, and that takes over your whole life. And then as my kids grew older, and unfortunately my mother got dementia. So my sister who lives in the US and me in the UK, we took in turns to come and support my father because my mother was being very well looked after, but my father, who'd been with my mother for many years, needed a lot of um,
Care and
care and
attention.
attention, and emotional care, because
Yeah.
otherwise he could go into depression, staying with somebody who didn't know who he was, even though they'd been together for many years. And it was while I was here that, I'm a South Kolkata girl. I grew up in Ballygunge, I went to La Martiniere, went to Jadavpur University. My life was around this little area. But because they'd moved to Salt Lake, in the afternoons, my parents would both sleep. And all my friends were working and everything. So I started walking. So I discovered, it sounds strange to say, but I discovered that Kolkata had a river.
Okay.
And
Till then, you had no idea?
the only connection I had with the river, sadly, was when we crossed Howrah Bridge to take a train at the Howrah station to go somewhere. That's when you knew there was a river, but you were just passing over on the Howrah Bridge and there was a river there. But it was only when I started walking and I discovered North Calcutta and I discovered the river and I discovered the Ghats. And having lived abroad for so many years, and how, when we go abroad, we go to the old towns, the old cities, and how people really treasure these places and look after them. And I thought, we've got these treasures here in Kolkata and we don't look after them. So that was where the original idea, but I felt, am I being silly talking about this? I'm still a South Kolkata girl at heart. So it was really odd. So I thought, okay, I've got to get people to the Ghats. And that's where the idea of the river festival began. I know that's a long way of saying it, but it was organic.
Yeah, before we continue with the conversation, and I should have said this at the outset, Laili, you are looking lovely in that really, and you're looking very graceful in that resplendent sari of yours, the cotton from locally, I'm sure locally procured.
Yes.
It's beautiful, and your costume jewelry is something that everybody would envy.
Thank you so much.
You looking great.
Thank you.
Did you live anywhere in the vicinity of the river ever?
No.
No. So, in spite of that, in spite of being a South Kolkata girl, where did you actually get this passion from?
The river is so beautiful. We have this wide river. When I first went to London, which is where I've lived most of my life, even traveling around India, our rivers are big, big rivers. I went to London and I saw the Thames and I said, is this the river? It looks like a nala. It's a narrow river. And then when I went on my walks and I went to the Ghats and I looked at this huge expanse, something stirred in me. I think you have to get that emotional feel. And I still, when I go, I feel very emotional. Tears come to my eyes when I look at the river. And then, if you look at the history of Kolkata, Kolkata was born because of the river. There were these three little villages, and it was Job Janak who came and said, "Oh my God, the river comes right into this place. So the East India Company should set up its headquarters here." So the city of Kolkata, as we know it, Calcutta, under the British, might never have happened if it hadn't been for the river.
True, very
It's a
true.
riverine port. There is only one other riverine port, but not at this scale. So the importance, the link of the city with the river is tremendous. And at one point, the riverside was where all the action was.
So, how do you manage the locals when you visit these banks, for whom it is part of their culture, for some it is part of their religion, and when you go and tell them that this has to be in a certain way because we are losing our ghats, what kind of reaction do you get from the locals?
That's a really interesting question. Can I just say, changing behavior is long term, is one of, if you want to build a building, you build it and you've got a building at the end of the day. But to change behavior is very difficult. You've got to stick to it, okay? So, what I hope I've done in the last 6 years is convince the local people, because the 3 months that I'm in this country, I go regularly. I just go and sit there. I chat with the chaiwalas. I chat with anybody who's there. Okay, I strike up conversations with people, and I
So,
think
by now you are a familiar face, is
I am a
it?
familiar place in that section of the Ghats that I'm working on. Okay, and I work with a lot of other NGOs who have very good links with these areas as well. So, we do a ghat cleaning project with schools, for instance. So, in fact, it's with one wing of the Rotary, the interact bit of the Rotary, okay, that we do this piece of work that recently. We had started this project, but now we've linked up with Rotary. So the other organizations that we work with, they're also linked up with the local people. So together, I really think collaborative working is the way forward.
Oh, absolutely.
So I collaborate with every organization. We want to do something, you want to do something, but there's a little place where we both meet.
Yeah,
So
and
let's collaborate on
when you do
that.
something together, you do
And we
it
make
much
it bigger
better.
and better. So that's
Better.
my way of working. So between my links with the place, the links that the other people have, we now know a lot of the local people in these various carts. Okay, and I think because they see us consistently coming and doing work, there's an element of trust now. And you have to build that trust. You cannot be a fly by night and come one day and expect people to listen to you. Who the hell are you? Sorry,
So,
I shouldn't be
so
saying
over
that.
the years, you've been able to build
Yes,
trust with them,
yes,
which
yes,
is so
yes,
very
yes, yes,
important.
yes, yes. And also, if you're sincere about something, that sincerity comes through. Again, that's what I believe. So I now, if I go to the bit of the class that I work in, people come up and say hello to me and chat with me, and I know them now. And I can ask about their family, and
Yes. So
so
small talk, but big purpose.
yeah, yeah. And the main thing is what's in it for them. People who are selling chai, if they as long as they sell their chai. But we've said, selling the chai, keeping the place clean, more people will come, you will sell more chai.
Yes.
It's got to be
You have
built
to
into
educate
their,
them.
yes, yes,
Yes,
yes,
you have
yes,
to
yes,
educate
yes.
them. Tell me, Laili, what do you think is a major threat here as far as the ghats go? What I mean is pollution, environment wise, whether they need to be cleaned, there's no doubt about it, but they are even wearing away because of a lot
Totally.
of erosion.
Yes.
So what is according to you the major threat?
There are two or three different threats. The river is changing course. It's a very powerful tidal river. So we have to be conscious of that. And that is nature. We can't hold that back. So it's the constant repair and looking after that is a big piece of work. And the port, the interactions that I've had with SPM Port, they are very conscious about the fact that the ghats need to be cared for. What nature is doing with the powerful force of nature, some of it we cannot stop. Okay. But what we can do is look after the bits that we can look after.
Yeah, so whatever is humanly possible.
We cannot let that run down. Okay. Remember, every day the tides come in twice. There's high tide twice a day. Okay. So there's a lot of water, a lot of silt coming in twice a day and then going back. So we have to work with that. And there are days when the tide is so powerful, the police come and tell people to move away because you can get swept away with that water. Okay, so we have to work with that. But the other point, which to me is more important, is that when people do go and sit at the ghats and they're buying chai, they're just dumping it. They come to do the pujas or, when parents die and everything, they just dump the flowers. This is our holy river. These are places which we should cherish, which we should love and protect. Why are we not doing that? To me, that is the question. And we had the river festival last week, and I was speaking to a fairly large crowd, and I was saying, as citizens of this city, we have every right. If somebody is creating a mess and leaving it and walking off, we all have the right to pull up this person and say,
Yes.
please don't do this.
If we are responsible citizens,
we are all responsible citizens.
We need to do that.
We cannot say, ঝাড় দিচ্ছে না, government সরকার কিছু করছে না. What are we doing?
Exactly. Blame game is not going to help.
If we are coming there every day, we are making a mess. We can't blame other people for it, because the corporation does come and clean it. I know, I've been there. They've come and it's spotless. Within the next 2-3 hours, it's filthy because people have come and dumped things.
True.
So we all have a responsibility as citizens. We also have a responsibility of telling other people. We shouldn't be shy about that. And you know what? Most people respond positively. They don't mind. We have to just say it gently. Dada, Didi, Bhai, Bon, please korben na.
Yes, and be a little diplomatic about it.
দেখুন, আমরা সবাই এখানে এসে বসে আনন্দ করতে চাই. That is very important.
So, Laili, tell me, is there a success story which makes you confident that yes, you will be able to bring about lasting change in our ghats?
I want to pick up one little story, which is we train up river ambassadors. I think I've spoken about that. So we train up the chaiwalas, the napits, the pulwalas, who work along the ghats. So at Chapatola last year, we did a pilot and we trained up 16 people, men, all were men, in 3 elements. One was we teach them the history and heritage, because a lot of them come there, they just want to sell their chai, make the money and go off. Okay. So we thought it's important for them to understand the importance of these places.
Yeah.
So that's one element of our training. The second one is about cleanliness and how, what's in it for them, as I said earlier. Okay, you can make more sales if it's clean and more people come. And the third element, where we were linked up with Sea Explorers Institute, and they train people in life-saving skills. So out of the cohort, whoever can swim, they are trained in being first responders if anybody falls into the water. And at the end of the training, we gave them buckets so that, when they sell chai and all that, they can tell the people, please put your teacups in these buckets. And at the end of the day, they take the buckets and put away. But the big success was a couple of weeks ago. I was speaking to one of we call them river ambassadors. We give them lanyards. So with their picture.
So they feel they belong.
They feel they belong. And apparently 2 weeks before, somebody slipped and fell into the water, and they were able to get him out.
Oh,
So I
they
felt
saved a life.
when one of them told me that they had succeeded in doing this, I felt very happy and very proud.
Of course.
And they were proud
Of course.
that they could put their training into place. So we are
great.
going to start the second cohort in March
Okay.
at Nathir Bagan Ghat. So this was done at Chapatala Ghat. Now we're going to start the work at Nathir Bagan Ghat.
Great, really great. Tell me, Laili, how do you manage to these boatmen and the pilgrims, and you have to speak differently to different people. To pilgrims, you have to talk about how the religious history of the place. To the boatmen, you have to talk because they for them it's livelihood. So how do you make these different pitches with different kinds of people?
So it's very much a conversation. We have certain information to impart to them, but depending on the response we get from them, we respond to that. So nobody goes away feeling we haven't yet worked with boatmen because their focus is on the river.
Right.
But we will go up to that cohort. We've in our organization, Caltex, we've tried to be quite specific. We don't really look at the river so much because there are lots of organizations who are working on cleanliness of the river.
Including the government. Yes.
Absolutely. So we didn't want to be yet another organization doing what many organizations are doing.
True.
Our focus is on the ghats and the surrounding areas. So the people who are based on the ghats is our main focus. Now, when you talk about the pilgrims, a lot of people come and sit on the ghats, when they come for a day and so on. We think that these ghats are multi-purpose use and they are living spaces. So we should not be saying, oh, you can't come here because we want it to be clean and we don't want you here. Or if people are bathing and washing their clothes, you can't be there. We think that the ghats can be used by different groups of people. These are living places. And that's how it is, and that's the beauty of the place. They are not antiseptic, clean, perfect places. These are real places where people live, they use, but you know what? We can keep them clean. That's our message. We can all use it. We can keep them clean. So
in fact, I would have just asked you, what message would you give? You've already given the message.
Yes.
Laili, you have included interactors in this exercise, and so naturally the youth are involved. But what about the youth who inhabit these banks?
So, one thing that we tried to do at one of our river festivals, which we had at Nathir Bagan Ghat, was we had lots of activities for the young people who are along the ghats. And so the activities were there, like putting paint on their hands and getting their handprints on the steps and so on. But that was at a very low level. I would like going forward, just like we're working with the adults along the ghats, is ultimately devise a project for the children along the ghats. The work that we're doing with Interact, this time we focused on schools which are in North Kolkata. Okay, so we are working, the kids who are coming to do the cleanup are kids from the North Kolkata schools. Okay. So, but they might not be living along the river banks, but they are young kids who have an investment in seeing the betterment of those areas.
Great.
Okay.
It is their city after all.
So that has started. And let me just tell you, a month ago when we had 3 schools, they had done some paintings of how they would like the riverbanks to look. 2 young people, I think, had written about their idea of how the ghats should be. Very inspirational stuff. And there were 2 young boys who did yoga. We can use that space.
Yes.
Looking at the river, doing their yoga exercises. So it was beautiful, you know. So getting the young people involved in it is absolutely crucial.
Tell me, Laili, what made you join a Rotary Club, and that too an all women's Rotary Club?
I don't live in Kolkata, so I come here for about 3 months of the year in about 2 or 3 separate trips. And I felt it was really important to make a connection with the women of Kolkata. And the Rotary does great work. And when I heard that the Rotary had a women's wing, I thought I would like to join with them to understand the work that they were doing, which I'd already read about, but to actually speak to the individuals. And just having that supportive network is so important, I feel, as a woman, getting that level of understanding and emotional support, which is so important. So I joined. I asked around some of my friends whether there was a group like that, and I was really pleased. And I joined, and no regrets
So you
about
got
it.
positive feedback about our club.
Absolutely,
That makes
absolutely.
us happy too.
Yes.
Laili, how does the Rotary journey help you in strengthening your resolve to, uh, revive these ghats?
So, what I've always done was I've always tried to do pilots. If I've had an idea, I've said, okay, let's do a pilot, because if we do well, we succeed, then I can share that story with other organizations and they will want to join us because we've done it ourselves. And so, the work with the schools of Kolkata, we started 2 years ago. And then when I spoke to Rotary and the interact part of it, the schools part of it, and they showed an interest. They wanted to join us. So now we collaborate and we bring our expertise. The Rotary brings the children, and it's a joint, beautiful effort
And a win-win too.
and a complete win-win situation. So, in fact, Rotary have asked us to do it along. My focus is still on Kolkata, but to do it in other parts along the river as well, because there are lots of other schools. If you go to Chandanagar and so on, and near Diamond Harbour. So we are looking at our capacity to do that, because obviously the NGOs that we work in to provide all the gloves and the bags and everything are based in Kolkata. So we are looking at expanding that, but I hope we can do that.
Great.
So yeah, total win-win for us.
True. Uh, Laili, how has your experience as a Rotary member really affected your leadership style? Because there you are working at the grassroots level.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
I think what Rotary has done is given me an opportunity to speak to a different audience about the work that I'm doing and help me make connections with individuals and individuals linked to other organizations. Like this is a great forum. I'm getting to speak here through Avyanna, and this will reach out to different people who might be interested in the work that we're doing. We are now an NPO, which means that we can link up with CSR objectives of larger organizations, and we can work together if they have similar objectives to fulfill. So I feel that being able to work at that different level is something that has happened through being a member of Avyanna, Rotary Avyanna. So thank you for that great opportunity.
oh, most welcome. And Laili, when you envision the Ganga 10 years from now, what role do you think Rotary can play in enhancing that?
I hope one of my big dreams is that, on a lesser level, that Rotary will say, we're going to have our meetings on the river. We're going to have our team days on the river. We're going to have a group piece of work on the river. That'll be fabulous.
That sounds fantastic.
And also support having cultural events, support projects where we are looking at the upliftment of people along the ghats. Maybe projects where, a lot of people use the river for their ablutions, okay? So putting in some toilet facilities, some bathing facilities, so people don't have to go to the river. Women need a place to change, and yet when they go and bathe, they're in their wet clothes and so on. Could we provide them with some changing facilities along the river? So these are some of the pieces of work, because it would fit in what Rotary does. So I hope we can come together on some of those pieces of work.
Of course, of course. On a lighter note, Laili, are you a night owl or a morning person?
I am
When
a
do you get
morning
the
person.
best ideas?
I'm a morning person. I wake up 5:30, quarter to 6. I'm up and I work. And when I'm in the UK, I wake up and I have all my meetings with the people in Kolkata, because by that time it's about 1:30, 2:30 over here. So I
Yes.
get up and all my meetings are between my 7 and 8 in the morning. But I'm a complete morning person. I go for a swim. If I don't have meetings, I go for a swim, or I go to the gym, or I go for a walk. My mornings are my best time.
Okay,
Yes.
great. And
Sometimes if I have to stay late, I stay late. Otherwise, by 10 o'clock, I'm asleep.
okay, okay. And on a very stressful day, what makes you laugh instantly?
I look at the world and I think it's a great place. So I stay positive. My husband makes me laugh, and he's quite a funny man, and I think he likes to see me laugh. Okay, so he'll say something, and even though I don't feel it's funny, I know he expects me to laugh, so I laugh. But no, I'm generally a glass half full than a glass half empty person. So, yeah.
Great, great, Laili. It was wonderful talking to Laili, and I'm sure we will meet soon. Not only as a crusader of the river, but as a very active Rotarian. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hi, Gursadeen.
Hi, Soma.
I know you just told me that we should call you Serena and not
Yes.
Gursadeen.
Yes.
So this is something I learned about you.
Yes. So
And this is what-
Gursadeen is my official name.
Okay.
But I prefer to be called Serena.
Lovely. So this is what we discover when we have these conversations, because there are a lot of hidden gems about our members we miss sometimes. This is a very informal chat. I hope you're relaxed.
I'm fine.
Wonderful. So let's start with, what were your growing years like? Where were you born, and where did you spend your childhood?
So I was born in Ranchi, the small town of Ranchi.
Oh,
And like while growing up, I belong to a Sikh family. So as you know, we all serve langar, and that is a major part of our community. So this idea of service comes to us very naturally.
absolutely.
It's instilled in us right from childhood. So we've seen that as growing up, we used to go to the gurdwaras, serve langar there.
This was in Ranchi.
Yes,
Okay.
in Ranchi. So other than that, my parents were also into charity work. My dad was a co-founder of a home for handicapped children. So he was the honorary secretary over there. So he was very, very active, and like we used to take us with him, my mother also, and seeing them. So we got this into us, that doing this noble cause for the society. So it was instilled in us. And while I was growing, I happened to come across a blind school in our vicinity. So I just, being curious, I started visiting the blind school. And then the principal of the school, she said, why don't you come and teach them English? Since it was a Hindi, medium school. But they had a subject in English, but they didn't have an English teacher.
Correct.
So I said, like, I have not gone into teaching ever since So they said, why don't you give it a try? And when I interacted with the girls over there, so it gave me some, motivation to go and, teach them. So I learned Braille on my own.
Wonderful.
I took a book, and from the book, I learned Braille and I started teaching them. So that's an achievement. I feel that, I did something for them. And I like from my batch, the batch that I taught had, they took their metric exams, they passed, they got jobs. So
Oh,
this is
how
a
lovely
sense
is
of,
that? Achievement. It's a
achievement.
huge achievement.
And you feel self-satisfied
Completely.
doing things like that. So this
Wonderful.
was before my wedding. After the wedding, then
So
how.
you have siblings?
Yes, we are three sisters.
Three sisters. I mean, what can be a more wonderful way to grow up in such a beautiful family that was already into service? It's a natural
Yes.
progression. I'm not surprised that you're in Rotary today. I think it culminated so beautifully.
Yes, I always wanted to do something, but then you get involved in the family.
Plus,
and
you
the
don't get a
children.
platform sometimes
Yes.
and you wonder what to do.
So this is like when Sonali introduced me to Rotary. So I said, now that the children are, grown up and looking after
Correct.
themselves, and I had time in hand.
So, coming to that, so when did you get married?
This was in 1994.
Okay, while you were still in Ranchi.
Yes.
Okay, and now then.
My parents moved to Delhi a couple of years later.
Okay.
Since my other two sisters were also in Delhi and they were all by themselves. So they moved to Delhi. So that's it.
Okay, and now you have two children.
Yes, two boys.
Two boys. How old are they?
Elder one is 30, younger one is 24.
Oh, you don't look like you have a 30-year-old. That's wonderful.
Thank you so much.
So, what do you do now?
I'm a homemaker.
Oh, so lovely to hear that.
So I don't know if that is a lovely thing, because
no, I'll
nowadays
tell you it's a lovely
I
thing.
come across in the club, everybody has achieved so much
I
professionally.
will tell you why I said that. I think it was during COVID that we all realized how difficult a homemaker's job is when we didn't have anything else to do. और जब हमें खाना बनाना पड़ता था, झाड़ू पोछा and everything, then such पूछो that was the time I started respecting
Realizing, yes.
a homemaker. Otherwise,
It
people
is a
just brush it off
thankless
like a
job.
housewife.
It is a thankless
It's
job.
a thankless job, but it's rewarding in its own way.
Yes.
And very, very tough.
I feel it is an institution in itself.
Completely.
You
completely.
run an institution balancing all the areas of the home.
If you don't do that, the
Yes.
whole family can go
It's
haywire completely.
out of, control then.
Wonderful. So now when Sonali told you about Rotary, what was it that she told you? And what was your perception about Rotary before she mentioned it to you?
My father was also a member of the Lions Club of Ranchi.
Okay.
So, having known about Lions Club, I knew Rotary was also
Something
similar to Lions Club. And so I knew that they do things for the society and for the underprivileged. So I jumped to the offer of joining Rotary Club, and I'm glad I did.
And how long has it been now in Avyanna?
A year and a half.
Wonderful, wonderful. So tell me a little bit about your journey so far. What kind of projects have you participated in so far?
So I haven't been very active, honestly speaking, but I did a couple of them which are very close to my heart. One was the cervical cancer vaccination. So I, being a cancer survivor, I also was, very compassionate about this project. So I got involved in that. And the other one was the garage sale that we put up in Patuli. So that was a fun kind of a
Yeah, we all
project.
had good fun.
Yes, we had good fun. And whether the first time, I was actually, trying to sell products, which was a different thing.
We
for
usually
me.
are at the other end and we buy.
Actually, so this was a fun project. I enjoyed doing that. So
You just mentioned you are a cancer survivor.
yes, I am a cancer survivor.
Do you mind telling us a little bit about it?
This was just before COVID in 2020. I got diagnosed with breast cancer. And
Was
just
it during a
before
screening or how did you learn
yes,
about it?
I did notice a lump.
Okay.
And I went to the doctor, and she, forced me into the test, because I'm very laid back about my health. So I said,
That's
okay,
what most
I'll
women
come next week, I have guests and that. And she said, no, you're coming tomorrow. So she could sense that it's something serious. So I had to get operated. So this was just before the lockdown. And thankfully, like by God's grace, everything was done in time so that, the 3 months the hospitals had all shut down.
Yeah, correct.
So there was no way I could have got operated if I had delayed my surgery in any way.
Right.
So, like by God's grace,
It was all done in
It was
time.
done in time, and but my chemotherapy got delayed by 3 months because of the lockdown. But I survived.
That's wonderful, and it's so heartening. And I would like to tell all our women members and all clubs across the district, I mean, this is what you should do. When you notice something is not right, just go and get checked. Do not delay.
Absolutely.
And see, such an inspiring story. I'm so glad you shared it with us.
Thank you so much.
I'll ask you something more pertinent to our club. In the sense, what do you think should the club do to attract more members, or to what should we introduce in the meetings that would attract members to attend the meetings? Sometimes it gets a little challenging, to have people attend the meetings and learn about the projects they are doing. So, do you have any suggestion that can help with that?
Uh, I'm not sure because, like, when we have so many members, we have a strength of about 54 members in our Avyanna. But, and having, the meetings and all planned in advance, people should, I mean, they have to get, if they have joined the club, so they have to have that motivation to attend the meetings and attend the project. So this is upon the individual to, the club is doing enough. They're having their projects, they're having their meetings done. So it is up to the individual to come forward and give their services. If they have come and to join the club, so then it is their duty to come forward and provide their services.
Okay,
That's
so you
my
feel the club is
professional-
doing enough?
Yes, it
it's
is.
it's the self motivation should be there in
Yes,
every member.
absolutely.
Okay, what kind of projects would you like to participate in? What
Anything,
interests you?
something to do with blind children.
Okay,
Definitely.
because you had experience in that.
Yes.
I think we should, try to use your experience, because you said you learned Braille.
Yes, I did.
We'll keep that in mind. That's something really interesting that you shared.
And cancer awareness also is
Wonderful,
also close to my
wonderful.
heart.
Wonderful. Are you a food lover?
Yes, I am.
So you love to feed or you love to eat?
Both.
Both. Wonderful. We'll wait for an invitation.
Of course.
What kind of
definitely.
cuisine?
More of Indian. But I also, since we travel a lot, so I like to, go and explore the local cuisine of the place.
Okay, you do that.
I do that.
That's adventurous.
Yes, I like to do that.
You're a beach person or a mountain person?
Mountain person.
Mountain person. Adventure sports or just relaxed something?
Relax. I'm not much into sports or adventure.
Okay, not into sports.
No.
Okay. And how do your children, how much of your time do your children demand now? Or are they totally independent now?
They are independent, but then we do sit down in the evenings to spend time together since both of them are working. So during the day, they don't get much time to
So you like to
spend.
have the meal
So,
together in the evening?
Yes, we do.
All of you all
Family
together.
dinner.
That's wonderful. And do you, meal times is just eating or exchanging stories?
Of course,
about,
exchanging stories about the whole day, who did what. So
how
that's
interested
how
are they in your Rotary membership?
They are proud of me.
They are?
Yes,
Oh,
of
that's
course
so
they
nice.
are. So they are involved. They know what projects I'm going to attend. So they ask me, how was it, Mom? So
And they're encouraging.
of course they are.
Lovely.
They're lovely.
Lovely. That's how I think the message of Rotary will spread through our
Yes.
youngsters. Because a lot of people even now don't understand the kind of work that we do, and we need every person to be our ambassador. So thank you so much, Suri. It was lovely talking to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for having me.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
This is the first time that probably I'm interviewing a doctor. So normally I try to put the interviewee at ease. I have to put myself at ease this time.
No, nothing like that.
No, but it's lovely to be with Dr. Sushupta Chaudhary. And I will ask you to tell us more about yourself.
So in a nutshell, I grew up in Rourkela, and class 11 and 12 I did in La Martiniere, Kolkata as a boarder. And then I did my medicine in Medical College, Kolkata.
Okay.
After that, I did my PG in RG Kor, Kolkata. And then I went off to UK, where I did my MRCOG, FRCOG, and I super specialized in fetal-maternal medicine, which is a specialization a little bit higher than high-risk pregnancy.
Okay.
So I was there for about 13 and a half years. And then I returned to Kolkata in 2008. Since then, I've been working in Kolkata and I'm enjoying my work. That's it mainly. Why I joined Rotary, if anybody would ask me, the main reason is my daughter has gone off to the university in the US quite some time back, however, 2015. And since then, I wanted to do something on a more social basis. We have a family history of social service. My mother was
lovely.
the president of Women's WRBS, which is Women's Royal Voluntary Service. That was in Burnpur when my father was in ISCO. So she really inspired us. Later on, I have been inspired by my dad as well. I've seen him doing a lot after he retired and he came to Kolkata, but he was like a quiet worker. So, and then my daughter was young. My parents would visit us in the UK, and my mother would bake cakes, and my daughter would go and sell the cakes in her school, and then money would go for the cancer people in
How
the hospital.
lovely is that?
So, my daughter is also induced into that, which is why she won a President's Medal in 2014 in India for doing a social service here, where she organized the formation of bank accounts for 15 women. And she earned for them by baking and doing a baking competition in the school and selling the cakes and getting people to sell cakes from their home.
Bravo. It's a
And
lovely
she
initiative.
raised 222,000 from that. And she opened PPF accounts for these 15 women.
Oh my God, that
She
is
got
so
their
thoughtful.
Aadhaar card made. Of course, I supported her.
yeah, yeah.
She got their PAN card made. She got their accounts open and then a PPF account open and started off their PPF account. So which is why she got the President's Medal in 2014.
So no wonder. I mean, it's a family thing to be of service to people.
Yeah. So I thought, I need a platform where I can do more. So what I was doing initially, it was my uncle who lives in the US suggested, you paint so well. Why don't you do exhibitions of your paintings? I actually make big canvas paintings. And I'm inspired by my photographs for paintings. When I travel, I photograph.
Oh, you are also a photographer.
Yeah, so I travel, I photograph, and then I use my photographs to create abstract paintings.
You're wearing many hats.
No, nothing like that. So then when he said that, I said, that sounds good. So I painted some more and I did some exhibitions in ICCR before COVID. Even during COVID, I did some online exhibitions, but those didn't sell. But in ICCR, lots of sale happened. So I used that money to support an orphanage in Baruipur, BSSK.
Okay.
Baruipur Shitakundu, Snehokunjo by Shitakundu, which is why Baruipur BSSK. However, during COVID, they lost their license. So those orphans had to be rehabilitated in different places. I'm still in touch with them now. Some of them have studied in schools, have passed out from schools.
So what is the age group of these people?
These were from 7 years till 17, 18 years when I started working for them. So since post-COVID, I've been trying to find a platform where I can use my energy in some way. Then it was Uma. Uma was a patient of mine, turned into friend. We were traveling in the car, and I think it was just before this year's like 2025 installation. She said, "Oh my God, I'm under so much pressure. আমাদের নতুন ইয়ে লাগবে, members লাগবে." So I'm like, "আমি member হবো?" I said, "Wow, very good. Chalo, member ho gaye." Bas, and that installation ceremony was very nice for me. আমার খুব ভালো লেগেছিল. I was made to feel very welcome. I felt that all the women were very warm. Initially, I had hesitations ki kemon hobe. Only women's groups sometimes ekটু
Yeah,
I
sometimes
felt-
we have that.
हाँ, but मुझे बहुत मजा आया. I mean, I really enjoyed. फिर मैंने सबका photographs लिया, वो किया, बहुत मजा आया.
How come you missed me?
I don't know.
We'll do it again.
But
But you know what?
Yeah.
Uh, you're such an asset to the club. All that you're telling me right now, I'm sure more than half the members won't know that you're doing so many things. And with your ideas and with your background, you can initiate so many projects for our club.
So I was talking to Apurna. I think here we are all on one-to-one name basis.
Completely,
isn't it?
completely.
So Apurna and I said, I want to do the woman and child project with you. I'll create posters, pamphlets for postnatal mothers, how to take care of themselves, how to take care of the children, how to take care of their moods, and how to tackle their family as well. Because postnatal
That was something I was going to come to.
Yeah.
Two things. You mentioned that you are taking, you specialize in something more than just high risk pregnancies.
Yeah.
Since I also have a kind of a healthcare background, I'd like to know a little more about that. What is your...
Relevance to that and our Avyanna would be, I would like to give talks about to women who are planning for a pregnancy or who are just married and they know, okay, fine, we want to fall pregnant. And how and why they should come and meet the doctors.
Even before they conceive.
Before you.
Right,
That's
right.
where you hit the nail so that we
Yes.
have least problems during the pregnancy. Yeah, tackling a problem during the pregnancy, prevention is better than cure. We all know that.
Right.
Is of course always more difficult. But if it becomes easier, if you have dealt with the women before pregnancy,
Correct.
and তুমি জানো যে তুমি ওকে কি কি বলেছো কি কি
Medical
করতে,
history কি আছে,
হ্যাঁ,
so
কি
you know
কি,
everything.
and তার আগে অ্যাডভাইস দিয়ে দাও যে এইগুলো করে ক্লিয়ার হয় না তারপরে ফল প্রেগনেন্ট, and depending
Makes so much sense.
yeah, and it is always customized age wise and of course financial wise অনেক কিছুই থাকে সবকিছু আর I personally am very proud to say and I don't mind saying it openly is আমি কোনো পেশেন্টকে ওই শুধু গাইনি দেখলাম শুধু obstetrics দেখলাম তা করি না আর
Holistic.
যদি কিছু থাকে
Right,
of course I see মানে ওকে ফাইন আমার দেখে মনে হলো যে তোমাকে তো ভীষণ ডিপ্রেস লাগছে হোয়াটস হ্যাপনিং তোমার
We
ফ্যামিলিতে
not
কি হচ্ছে
compartmentalize everything.
and then তখন
affects-
হয়তো সে কাউন্সিলিং এই চলে গেল হ্যাঁ ভলেই ওটার জন্য আমার
You spend
টাইম
more
অনেক
time.
হয়ে গেল কিন্তু at least end of the day I feel good যে আমি কারোর জন্য just besides that আরেকটু এক্সট্রা কিছু করতে পেরেছি আর কি
The relationship between the patient and
Of
the
course.
doctor is so
যেই জন্য
pure
patients
and-
become my friend also আর কি
Completely.
and husbands আসে পরে কথা বলতে একটু আপনি বউকে বলে দিন না তাহলে ও শুনে নেবে আপনার কথা শুনবে you know?
আমার বললে শুনবে না।
এরকম আর কি সো ইয়া তো আমি বলছিলাম thalassemia awareness I'm very passionate about thalassemia because again thalassemia is highly related to pregnancy
Completely,
and I'm seeing
yes.
a
We
lot
have learned
of
so much about it.
Indian women who are thalassemia minors not thalassemia major
Majors, but-
they are some of them are thalassemia trait there is a fine difference between trait and minor তো ওইটাও আর কি is a very good topic to discuss
Right.
আরেকটা আমার যেটা মনে হয়েছে যে আমাদের ক্লাব উইমেনদের জন্য we can have informal discussions like you know কোন বললো যে আজকে ডক্টর চৌধুরী থেকে আমরা এটা শুনতে চাই আপনি একটু কিছু বলবেন ফাইন চলো
Definitely, you can be a
বললাম।
speaker at one of our meetings.
Yeah, তো
and
যেমন you know speak on menopause or perimenopause or you know who have adolescent girls speak on adolescent gynecology you know the world is huge in তারপরে একজনকে বললো যে ও আমাদের আর গাইনি কিছু লাগবে না আমি বললাম গাইনি সারা জীবনই লাগে বাট না লাগলে সব থেকে ভালো অফকোর্স জিরিয়াট্রিক গাইনোকোলজি আমাদের মারা আছে কেউ কেউ একটু বয়স হচ্ছে what to think of and when to go to the doctor how to prevent problems geriatric gynecology so আমার এগুলো কি বসে বসে মাথায়
So a lot of topics there are that people are not aware of,
Yes.
you know. And we sometimes, when we're faced with those problems, we run to the doctor. So
Yes.
what you're saying, preempting those and creating that awareness.
আমার ওইটা খুব I follow that prevention
Sure, no,
is much better
absolutely.
than cure.
Yes,
An ounce
yes.
of prevention is much better than cure.
No, we see you as, I'll repeat myself, that you're really an asset to the Rotary Club of Calcutta Avyanna.
sure all
and
of
we're
us
proud to have you as a member.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you
and
so
I'm
much.
proud to be a part of you.
We're so blessed. Thank you so much, Ashupta.
Okay, thank you.